So you have asked Claude to do something that takes more than one step. It goes away, it comes back, it goes away again. This whole lesson answers one question about that. How does your code know when it has actually finished? That's the agentic loop. Here's the situation. So you have to look up the customer's order, check whether it's in stock, email them, and notify them in some other way. Claude cannot do this in one go because you are the one holding the ordering system. So it comes back to you partway through. And every time it comes back, something has to decide whether it's finished or it's waiting for you or waiting on you. If you get that wrong, your agent might stop halfway or never stop at all. That's the point. You should know how to stop. Let's forget code for a minute. Let's picture two people with walkie-talkies. You on the ground and a builder up on the roof. A radio only lets one person talk at a time. So here's the problem, and it is exactly our problem. When he stops talking, how do you know whether he has finished or whether he is waiting on you? You don't work it out from his sentence. He tells you one word at the end of every message. The first word is over. Let's say the tiles are cracked up here and he says send up 2 more crates. Over. Over means I have stopped talking and it is your turn. Go and do something and come back to me. The job is not finished yet, but it's paused and it's waiting on you. The second word is out. Roof's done, everything is sealed, out. Out means finished. There is nothing more coming. You put the radio down. That signifies or that indicates the end of the job. 2 words and they carry the whole thing. Over means your turn, then back to me. Out, we are done. And notice what you never do. You never listen to the sentence and try to guess or work out whether he sounded as finished, is he finished, or you don't make a guess. You listen for one word at the end. Hold on to that because Claude works exactly in the similar way or exactly the same way. When you use Claude in a chat window, you see one thing, the words it wrote back. When you build with Claude in code, you get more. The reply arrives as a small package. The words are on one item inside it, and sitting next to the words is a label. And that label is the sign off word. It's called stop reason. Every reply from Claude has one, and it says one of the two things that matter here. Tool use is equivalent to over in the walkie-talkie scenario. Claude is telling you it needs to do something else. Something has to be done. So run this tool and hand me the result. So you run it, your code runs it, and you add the result to the conversation and you send the whole thing back. End turn means out. Claude is telling you it has finished. You stop. That's the real terminator. So the loop is just that drawn out. You send the request, Claude responds. You read the sign of word on that response. If it's over, you do the job and go around again. If it's out, you are done. That's the agentic loop. There is nothing else to add in the agentic loop conditions but the stop reason that guides you about your next step. And when the exam says inspect the stop reason, this is all it means. Not read what Claude wrote as a reply. Your code looks at that one label, that stop reason and branches on it. If it is an if statement 3 lines long, that's how it would look like. That's the entire mechanism. And this domain is like 27% of the paper. Now the distinction the exam leans on hardest. There are two different jobs here, and people run them together. Ending the task, that's the sign of word and nothing else. Bounding a runway, a step budget, a progress check, a circuit breaker that halts after the handoff limit so two agents can't ping pong forever. All is correct, and you should have them. They are the fuse box, but none of them is how you actually stop the loop or how you know that the job is done. So the anti-patterns, according to the official guide, there are three, and you need to spot them in the list of four options. Number one is parsing the words to decide that the job is finished. That's hunting the text for a task complete or I am done. On the radio, that's guessing from the sentence of the person talking. He says, right, that's everything is in the middle of a longer thought, and you have hung upon him. The second one is an interaction cap as the primary stopping mechanism. And this one is a correction, and the correction is mine. When I wrote my own study notes for this exam, I said the way you stop a runway loop is maximum step limit plus a progress check plus escalation to a human. That's actually wrong. The official guide lists it as an anti-pattern. But read it carefully because the word doing the work is primary. A step budget is a good idea. It's the fuse that stops a bug costing you $2,000 overnight. It just isn't how you know that the task is done. On the radio, it's hanging up after 20 messages. You have stopped. But did he finish or did he give up? That's exactly a similar analogy. The third anti-pattern is treating plain text as the finish. Let's say there's a pause in the reply and no tool call. So it must be over. That's an assumption, but not a signal. On the radio, he was thinking out loud and you walked away. Check the label, it is there for exactly this. And on the paper, if one option says cap the iteration and another says check the stop reason, the answer is the stop reason. We cannot guess, we have to check the stop reason. And the three answers that turn up constantly and are wrong every time something is looping, these will be always wrong. Use a bigger model, increase the context window, remove the tool. None of those stop a loop. If the question is this agent is spinning or the agent won't stop, the answer is about control flow. It's not about the capacity. The last thing, and it's the most tested idea in the domain, agent or workflow. Here's the picture. A train usually runs on the rails, same stations, same order, every night. Somebody decided that the route before it left the depot, before it left the station. So there is a decided route. That's a workflow. You own the control flow and it's cheaper, faster, predictable, and testable. Whereas if you take a cab, if you take a taxi, it has no rails. The driver decides at each junction, looking at the traffic in front of him. That's exactly an agent. So when Claude owns the control flow and works out the next move as it goes, it's similar to an agent. So it's slower, dearer, and it copes with what you couldn't have planned beforehand. And here's what people get wrong, where people get wrong. Having several steps does not make it a cab. A train makes four stops and still it's a train. So a nightly job running the same four transformations in the same order has four steps and is still a workflow. What makes it an agent is one decision taken at runtime. For example, should I escalate this or shall I retry it? That could not have been written down in advance. That has to be done dynamically with the thinking involved behind. So that's an agent. That's a trademark of agent. So the reflex, fixed order known in advance is workflow. Decide whether to escalate, adapt to what it finds is agent. The test 11 on AI Path.1 will give you some insights about the orchestration. So go and sit it.